So, to you who is in an abusive relationship, I will tell you, please, it's important that you are alive. You are expected to separate and go and seek help. No one is beyond saving, but you don't necessarily have to be the savior.
You don't have to be the savior.
You don't have to be the savior. Hire somebody that will save both of you, but their life, so that you can fulfill your purpose and so that you can live together. Marriage is beautiful, but if both of you are ready.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of Talk Time with Winnie. Today we are going to be talking about one of the major problems that our society is facing, and that is why victims of domestic abuse remain in that relationship. To be doing justice to that topic with me, I have the convener of Beauty and Bride Nigeria. She is also the creative director of theirs event. Mrs. Francisca Ogunlade will be with me shortly. I'll be right back.
This episode of Talk Time with Winnie is proudly brought to you by Beauty by Hui, the skin and body place.
Welcome back, guys. I have with me the creative director for theirs event and the convener for Beauty and Bride. Drum roll! Mrs. Francisca is here with me, guys. Thank you so much, ma, for being on Talk Time with Winnie. How does it feel?
I feel, it's not because of, I should be dancing, but
Please dance. Thank you so much for coming on Talk Time with Winnie. So without further ado, let's have a brief introduction about Beauty and Bride. Beauty and Bride. What was the inspiration behind it? How long has it been? Because I know Beauty and Bride, I know it to generally be, some trade fair, affair and all of that. So, what was the inspiration behind it and how long have you been doing it?
Okay, the story starts from theirs events. That's actually the bedrock, and I came into the events industry in 2017, and then in Akure, there was no event planners. We didn't have professional event planners. Even though I was working in a bank, but that was my side business. So I came in professionally. That was after having a certificate course. I've completed my certificate course with the Events Planning Institute US, and after being certified, I decided to start an events planning company in Ondo State, in Accra, Ondo State then. I noticed the trend, and that was that people that had money to pay event vendors and the event planners specifically were not engaging those in the States, within Ondo State particularly.
They were going outside.
They go outside to engage them. How do you know the interesting part? They hired those people in Lagos, in Abuja, the big cities, and those people in turn now subcontract the jobs to us here
in Akure
and give us peanuts. So I had a very nasty experience in 2017. I did a job for a multinational. It was subcontracted to me in Ekiti State. So as a multinational, I did the job and I was really excited. And after everything, I was not paid. It was painful. In fact, it's still painful.
I can imagine.
Because it was a Wednesday event, I had to take time out. I slept in the cold. Slept in the cold because our vehicle broke down on the way. So I slept in the car in the cold with my husband. And you can imagine all those things. And after everything, is not getting paid because the woman in Lagos felt that, well, the event has been done and started bringing another complaint. So I sat down, okay, how many other people are actually going through the same challenge? And that was how the idea of that exhibition came to be. I can't remember exactly how I got the name Beauty and Bride, but the exhibition was like, okay, let's do something about beauty, let's do something about bride, and that's how the exhibition came to be. I went to check out what other people are doing, spoke to some mentors in the industry, and 2017, May,
Beauty and Bride was
Beauty and Bride Nigeria was better than the first exhibition. So that's the story of our journey.
I'm a very, very big fan of Beauty and Bride. I was at the last exhibition and I must say that I don't know, but I know you guys are doing something incredible. And that's why I said to myself, I have to speak with the person that is behind this thing. I mean, we are so proud of Beauty and Bride. I'm sure everybody in Ondo State is proud of Beauty and Bride because I think Beauty and Bride is one of the largest trade exhibition in Nigeria. And to know that it's coming from Ondo State,
Thank you.
I doff my hat for you.
I blew last time.
Okay, so moving on to the topic of today. The topic of today is a very serious one that a lot of people are not looking at, and it's the situation of domestic abuse. Now, I'm not of the opinion that, oh, it's only women that are abused. I know a lot of men also go through domestic abuse. But the bone of contention for this show today would be why a victim would choose to remain in an abusive relationship. You know, I've thought about it several times, like why? Do you have an idea what would be holding anybody back in that kind of situation?
It's a deep one and a very serious one at that. One of the things from what I've seen, I'll say that one of the key reasons is because they don't initially see themselves as victims. So they don't accept that fact that they are victims of domestic abuse. They feel, well, they make excuses for the partner. So initially they don't feel they are victims. By the time they realize they are victims, they feel that they are giving too much into the relationship
to back out.
And it's not just in marriages. It starts way before marriage. So the man or the woman is feeling, we've been together for 2 years, we've been there for 3 years. He will change. She will change. And they go in deeper and deeper. And sometimes it's unfortunate that it ends in death. I think that is one of the reasons why people in such situations don't back out initially.
I saw a write-up, you know, just before the show that said that a lot of victims don't back out. They don't come out because they feel they can be the savior of the abuser. They feel they can save. They feel that they can change the person. You know, they feel. Does that make any sense?
Especially women. You know, when I was seeing it initially, my first response, I said they feel that the person will change. They feel they can change the person. They feel that if I love her enough, if I love him enough, then he will change. She will change. If I actually should, maybe they feel they are the ones at fault sometimes, and maybe I'm not doing it right. Maybe if I put in more effort, he will be able to change. She'll be able to change, and they don't actually change. They go deeper into it because it's happy, they feel it's good, and they feel good abusing their partner.
So what other reasons do you think would make a person stay in an abusive relationship?
Some people, it's the society. For some, it's the society.
Our society is very judgmental.
Yes. And they feel, what will people say? What will my family say? In fact, a lot of people don't even think about family. Because many times the family members will be telling them, leave. Or they'll be like, what will my friends say? What will the church say? What will the mosque say? What will my group of friends say? Cannot even think about the family. Because I can tell you that 70% of family will tell you, please leave, come home. We'll still love you. Some days ago, I was discussing with one of my friends, and the family was telling them, in this case, it's the man that is being abused.
Oh, really?
And the family is telling him, can you leave and even come to the parents stay in the state? This is the man whose child is already in high school. Can you come take a break from work and just come and relax here? You know, family always look out for you through families, but society is one major thing. And like I said, some people think that they've invested too much into the relationship and they can't leave. Then some people can't even find the courage because they've been broken. We find a lot of people on this table, they are so broken, they can't find the courage to leave. They don't know where to start from. They can't find the courage to, because a lot of abusers, they first break the person mentally and psychologically, making the person feel worthless before they even abuse the person physically. So you are being abused physically and you are being abused emotionally and mentally and psychologically. So the victim does not have the strength to live.
Whew. I mean, every time I think about this issue, it just gives me goosebumps, because now, taking it back from what you said about families, you said true families. So it is believed that there are some families that would even pressure a victim and say, okay, you can just be patient, just be patient, just be patient. It happens, right?
Yes, and sometimes it's not because the family don't like the person or they hate you. It's because of their understanding. Some families, they are looking at it that, please, be patient, just be a little bit patient. Nobody has ever come out of a broken relationship, or nobody has a history of divorce. We don't have a history of divorce in our lineage.
And then they say this thing like, no marriage is perfect.
Yes.
Yeah.
So why should you leave? So it's not as if they're coming from a place of love, actually. That be patient, do this, maybe next time you two don't talk. You two send me food in the morning. When you wake up, greet him, greet her. When you wake up, do this. So they are actually coming from a place of love. So I won't even blame those families.
So let's look at it from the angle of people who stay because of their children. Now, I read a post some time ago where this victim of domestic violence said she stayed because she wanted her son to have a father. Now, I read it and, I was finding it hard to make sense of it, because in my opinion, how do you stay so long and be so interested and invested in making an abuser, invested in making a father out of an abuser? You understand what I mean? So if you are holding on because of your children, the question is, are you giving your child the right thing? Now, this person in question is an abuser. Is that person right for your child? If that is why you are holding on to that, abuse.
It comes in different ways. There's no right or wrong answer to this, or let me say, to my own response. I've read somewhere that some abusers are the best fathers, but they're not the best husbands.
Some abusers are the best fathers, but they are not the best husbands.
Because their abuse is the reason why they are abusive will be from an experience that they are meting out on the woman subconsciously.
So is there a justifiable reason for being an abuser?
It's not justifiable. It's not. There's no.
Regardless of your experience.
Regardless, because that's why he's supposed to seek help. So it could be the woman could be looking at it that way. The woman could be looking at that. I don't want my child to grow in a state of being fatherless, so to say, or grow up as being a child out of a broken home. So it could be many reasons, and that's why you might never even know all the reasons why some people stay.
You never know.
Yes,
you never
know. I know of a woman, though her case is not of abuse. She was widowed young, and there was this man who really wanted to marry her. This is somebody I know very well. The man wanted to marry her. The man was ready to marry her. The man was doing everything for her. And her son, she has a son, who was a twin, but she lost one of them. So they were really, really close. And the man proposed to her, and she declined the proposal because she didn't want to be another son while her son was another son. So you never can tell people's reasons. I wouldn't know where she's coming from, why she had to decline that proposal to say that I don't want my son to have a different surname from me. I wouldn't know the basis for that, but you never can tell why. But what we should ask ourselves for women, and say, I'm staying back because of my child. What if you die? Won't your child live? What if you die? Your child will still live. Why don't you both seek help early enough? Or better still, don't marry him. Or don't marry her. Because you actually see signs of abuse before you get married.
Do people really see? Is it that sign, that you see this sign thing that you just mentioned, is it always there?
90% of the time.
Because, I've heard people say stuff like, oh, this person was an angel before this person was an angel. Like, they did not see where that change came from. Do you understand? Like, they did not see it coming. The real definition of they never see me coming. Like, you get, some people tell you this person is totally different from the person. So do they always see the sign? Personally, I don't believe that everybody shows the sign.
Many times they see the sign, but not directly.
Oh, okay.
When you want to know somebody's behavior, how does the person treat those people lower than you? So how does he treat people on the street? He might be treating you like an angel, like an egg. But how does he treat other people? How does he treat his parents? How does he treat his siblings? But specifically, those people that are lower than him in societal cadre. That is how you know the true definition of man.
When I was growing up, I've heard, a couple of neighbors saying, all these fathers that they'll say, "Italo man da." I'm sure you've heard that before. Some fathers are so good outside, like everybody outside sees them as angels, like perfect fathers. Oh, I wish this father was my father. But in their own homes, they are terrible people. So now, if you want to judge by the way they treat people outside, people lower than them, is that enough, measure of judgment?
That is just one of it.
Okay.
During courtship, that's the essence of courtship. During courtship, you are supposed to see other because you are closer to the person than when you were far off. So during courtship, 1 or 2 times, maybe the person could have overreacted, and you feel he only overreacted. She only overreacted. Those are the signs don't come out as billboards. They come out as dots on paper. So, but it's left for you to connect the dots. It's only few people that become abusive along the line. Very, very few. But many times they actually show those truths before they get married. Like many times. But we are blinded by love and by lust. Yes. Those are the two things. Basically by lust. We are blinded by lust, and we can't see. Lust will blind you completely. Because what you'll be seeing is how he is good in bed and how she's good in bed.
Very important.
But that is actually covering up the real thing. That's actually it. Those things can be learned.
Yeah.
But
they can be learned.
They can be learned. You think we're not born. And apart from that, when God created the genitals, said it's one size fits all. I don't know on this show.
Guys, we'll go on a quick break, and when we come back, we'll continue our conversation with Francisca Ogunlade. We'll be right back.
This episode of Talk Time with Winnie is proudly brought to you by Beauty by Hui, the skin and body place.
Welcome back, guys. I still have with me Mrs. Francisca Ogunlade of Beauty and Bride, and we have been discussing about why victims of domestic violence remain in that relationship. If you missed it, you can just go back and catch the episode. So, ma, we're going to, take a little diversion into our religious leaders, because I feel like, the first set of people that victims run to would always be their pastors, their imams, their religious leaders, generally. Do you think these religious leaders are contributing to it positively or negatively? Because, we have had cases where pastors will say, just stay, it's against the Bible to divorce and all of that, up until, the whole thing gets so bad. What do you think about it?
I'll say religious leader. The question should be, are they religious leaders? Are they actually qualified to be called religious leaders? From where I'm coming from, I'm a Catholic, and our pastors go through years of training. The same thing, you see that in Anglican Church, you see that in a lot of Orthodox churches. But it's only few other churches. Please, I'm not pulling down any church here. I'm just saying from where my understanding. So what we have noticed is that in some cases, some people are not actually well equipped. They don't have the capacity to be religious leaders, because being a religious leader doesn't only mean that you need to understand the scriptures, be it the Quran or the Bible. There's more to leadership than understanding the scriptures. You should have capacity to understand people. You should have your IQ higher than the average person. So that being said, if you find yourself that your religious leader or the religious leader is not even capable to hold that position as a leader, how do you think that person will be capable to advise you right when it comes to issue of domestic violence?
So is it to say that you can be a religious leader, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you can, also be a marriage counselor?
Yes.
So
you're hitting it.
Yes.
You might not have the capacity
to counsel people about marriage.
Counsel people about it. So just some religious leaders, please just do your day. This is where you are called to be. And there's nothing wrong if your church member, your
separated
someone comes to you and you refer them to somebody that can handle it.
Who is a professional.
You see a lot of churches, even Pentecostal churches. I know some Pentecostal churches are so amazing that they have counseling units in the churches. I have a lot of friends who are also religious leaders. They have counseling units. There's this woman, Pastor Jegede, Busola Jegede. She's one of the people I really love. Pastor Funke Jumotu. So these are people that they are counselors. So it's not because of the fact that they can quote scriptures. So if your religious leader is not capable, don't go there.
Go to somebody who is capable.
The bottom line is go to the people that is capable, the person that is capable. Now for religious leaders, if you know you can't handle it, ask somebody else to handle it for you. Your primary function is to call people to salvation. So if you are true with that and you know that you are not capable, then please just sit it out to somebody else. And we women specifically, not personally, to you who is in an abusive relationship, I will tell you, please, it's important that you are alive. I'm not saying you should divorce because my church doesn't even allow divorce, but there's something called separation even in my church. So you are expected to separate and go and seek help. No one is beyond saving, but you don't necessarily have to be the savior.
You don't have to be the savior.
You don't have to be the savior. Hire somebody that will save both of you, but their life, so that you can fulfill your purpose and so that you can live together. Marriage is beautiful, but if both of you are ready.
Whew. This topic, if we continue talking, we're not going to finish it. Thank you so much, Ma, for coming on Talk Time with Winnie. Thank you so much. Mio, I definitely learned a thing or two, and I'm sure the viewers also learned so many things from you. Thank you so much for coming on Talk Time with Winnie. So to wrap up the show, Mayo are going to be signing our celebrity pillow.
I've made it.
Our celebrity pillow. Yes. So every guest that comes on this show henceforth gets to know that the creative director of FT's events, are you feeling me as I'm saying it? And the convener of Beauty and Bride Nigeria, Mrs. Francisca Ogunlade was here. 2002. 2022. So Ma, you're going to be signing. You're going to be writing your name on this for us. Pick a spot. Anywhere.
Let me look for a very conspicuous. My people will say Makandiuta. So that they will know, the village people will know that I need
Francisca Ogunlade.
Let me not write too big so that other people find space to write.
You're a nice person. You're nice. If it was me, I'll take over the whole space. Yes. Show them. Thank you so much for coming on Talk Time with Winnie. I enjoyed being with you. I enjoyed speaking with you. I learned a lot from speaking with you, and it is such a big honor to have you here because I'm a fan.
Oh,
Thank you so much, for coming on Talk Time with Winnie.
Thank you for having me.